Yeah! Welcome to the Talk Your Ish podcast. It's your boy, motherfucker Jones, back with another heme. Today, it's a very interesting category and time that we're living in right now. And I feel no better time than to kind of sum up what I've been doing here. I've been talking about our mentalities. I've been talking about how we've been affected by many things, what's affected in our communities. But today I actually want to speak on what's going on right now in today's climate and why it may be going down from my perspective. Because, I don't know shit, but I just pride myself on paying attention, and what's going on right now, I don't feel a lot of people are aware. I do hope we start to pay attention to the actual things that's going on and not the different ways we're being pulled, because I know it's a lot that's going on right now. But I just wanted to give some preface to what I was going to talk about today. First, I'm going to say, if you're new, like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, I got new stuff coming, and it's gonna be crazy. Corona put it on, pause for a little bit, but your boy's coming with some hotness. Anyway, I want to start off saying, rest in peace to George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, everybody that's been lost to the overexertion of power in circumstances that we hire people for. Like I said, I wanted to give some preface to what I'm going to be talking about and kind of what's going on right now. We have a whole bunch of systemic issues that our government neglects to deal with because we continuously hire and elect people that have a vanity that claims to be for our communities but actually doesn't help us, whether you're white, black, brown, Puerto Rican, Dominican, purple. It don't matter. But at the end of the day, we've been dealing with these things, and now that we're actually in a point where a lot of people feel that they're at their bottom. You lost your job, you lost a lot of things that were normal to you. The government's telling you to stay in the house. You can't really see or hug your family members. You're probably losing family members. Rest in peace to those that were lost by Corona, but I also have an episode coming up about that. That's very interesting. Just the kind of perspective. I don't want to talk about the hoax of it all. I don't want to talk about, the things that people feel are super insensitive, because at the end of the day, you do have to be aware of the things that are going on, and people are actually dying. Whether it be they're spiking the numbers, whether they're doing whatever they're doing, as the government always does, it is what it is. But like I said, back to get on topic. The preface of this conversation, I wanted to start with understanding the fact that our systemic issues aren't just with the police. It's with the medical system. It's with the schooling system, educational system. It's with just about anything that is here to navigate us through this world that we live in today. To act as though you don't understand that, or to act as though you need to point other fingers, whereas we're talking about specific issues, kind of bothers me. Whether you're Candace Owens, Officer Tatum, whatever the case may be. I'm tired of the same rigmaroles being played. I'm tired of the same rhetoric being spewed. I'm tired of the same divisive talk being had. There needs to be a complete government overhaul. Just simply said. There needs to be a large difference, because without it, a lot of the things that we're fighting for and rioting for and looting for and protesting for are going to fall on deaf ears, as they fell many a times again. But the only difference that I'm seeing here now is we have a different mindset. Well, we have a lot of people with different mindsets. We've been sequestered to stick to our thoughts that we feel are ours. Whereas now we're so wrapped up in everything else that once we had the break, we really had time to look at ourselves and figure out what really made us tick. And then for a situation such as George Floyd's to happen, it kind of puts a conversation in the air that not a lot of people want to speak on, not a lot of people want to talk about. There's no reason why politics is spoken in conversations and people are made to feel uncomfortable. Politics surround us. That's just how it goes. But let's get real. We're talking about the actual politics within the government, not the abortion. Not saying that it's not important, not the who's having sex with who, not saying that that's not important, but at the end of the day, how we're being treated by our government officials and how we're being looked after by our government officials just isn't one to be emulated. And to think about it, we consider ourselves the best country in the world. I feel like personally the Constitution should have been like the lease. Like how you go get a car and then you got to bring it back because you're looking forward to getting a new one and progressing. I feel like the Constitution should have been written over because it no longer applies, and we've debunked so many things within it that doesn't apply to all people. And when you have documentaries such as the 13th, when you have documentaries exposing our prison system, we have to try and make a change, but it's obvious that the government doesn't want to make a change. So we have to do it. And with this unity, I wanted to preface this with, if you haven't educated yourself, get educated. If you feel you're educated, continue to educate yourself, because you keep speaking on things that you claim to know, but you don't want to give the mental space to actually give a fuck about. Because if you can say there's black on black crime, that's like saying there's white on white crime in Wisconsin. That's like saying there's Spanish on Spanish crime in Mexico or New Mexico or California. At the end of the day, crime is crime, and I'm tired of the divisive talk. We have our cops that are even going into a system not even understanding that, bro, no matter what you do, this system is a system. Whether you want to go there for a job or you actually want to change it, you all end up standing for the same thing, which is not doing anything to change what we need to be changed. Whether you're president, whether you're senator, whether you're congressman, you have to think about it. These people have the ability to change the things that we want to change, but it hasn't been done. We have to organize as a people with the common thought to realize, okay, if this work is not going to be done, we have to do it ourselves. I'm tired. I know a lot of you are tired. I'm tired of having to mourn and be desensitized because a couple months later it's the same thing. I'm tired of our media. Media. Media manipulation is probably the biggest part of them all. The biggest culprit, besides, America going through wars and this and that and the third. But the media is probably one of the biggest things that are a detriment to our country. We're trying to change it through our own entrepreneurial, abilities, but they have a cornerstone on a lot of what we see, eat, hear, talk about, think about, and we all have to really sit and wonder, why? Why is the media taking real issues and gaslighting us? Why is the media not actually showing things that we need to be shown? Why are we not exposing? Where are the journalists that are being shunned just because they want to talk about certain things. At the end of the day, like I said, our government is very interesting. And I say interesting because, for lack of a better word, right now, we're just chasing our own tail, and you have the Republicans and the Democrats pointing fingers when in all actuality, these guys are the same people. You have Candace Owens that got woken up because she was fighting for something that she completely understood that, guess what? I was being swindled. So just like every person that is swindled or feel like they got one over on them, you overcompensate. I make sure this won't happen to me again. So you think you chose a better side? No. Your ideals may align, just like the fact that the Republican Party used to be the Democratic Party, or the fact that all of these motherfuckers do the same thing that they want to do, which is exactly what they want to do. They don't care how they do it. There's even a rigmarole to how to get into politics. You have to go under parties that are underrepresented. You have to go to places where it's easy. Not because you're fighting for what you're fighting for. This is the issue. We're treating the things that we as people need to actually live and prosper as regular jobs. Cops should be held accountable for how they are, period. I'm tired of these cops giving us a sob story like, oh, there's good cops. Bro, if there was that many good cops, there wouldn't be this many bad apples. How many videos have you seen of multiple cops doing the bad thing or the worst thing or the things that they shouldn't have been doing? Yeah, guaranteed, citizens are shitty because citizens are upset. We don't know how to handle our emotions. But my thing is, if we don't realize this special moment right now, if we don't realize the unity in and the commonality between our ideals, we'll never progress. Because we have a whole bunch of infighting and division and bullshit going on when in most cases we agree. But instead of actually fixing the issues and attacking these systems, we're going to act like we're doing the things. We're going to kneel with protesters. We're going to take the pictures. We're going to discourage them to protest and do the things that we know may help. Because at the end of the day, saying that something won't help is just the most counterproductive thing you could do. If you're not out there rioting, protest. If you're not out there protesting, shut the fuck up. And let people that want to do the work do the work. Because at the end of the day, I feel as though through our living situations, we were made to be this way. We were made to move these ways. We were made to be this limited. Because if you think about it, it started with the government through redlining, the educational system being defunded, taking parents out the homes, making your civilians dependent. I'm talking about our communities because I actually care about our communities. I know what's going on in our communities because I haven't left my community. I've been to different places, I've lived different places, but I've always been in tune with my community. My thing is, there's a way to be balanced, there's a way to look forward, there's a way to understand without diminishing, even if you disagree. But in majority of these situations, we have history books. We have mass information given to us to understand the systems that we're in, and yet we choose to turn a blind eye. No matter what you're fighting for currently, whether you think Trump is the next best thing coming just because he's economically smart or whatever the case may be, or you hate the motherfucker because he don't have any type of people skills, or he really lacks the intellect to be president, which I feel. But at the end of the day, he's president. I literally thought we'd be dead by now. But hey, he didn't get us bombed by anybody, so that's cool. But my thing is, why are we allowing the people that are doing these jobs that are so important, that affect so much, do so little? So it does start with voting, but it also starts with showing that you will do things if what you are demanding isn't being met. The difference between this period and the periods before, whether you want to talk about conspiracy theories or how MLK died, the setting up of Malcolm X, because you know, we literally have been fighting this psychological warfare forever, and we haven't been fighting the right fight. They've kept us complacent. They've kept us focused in other places. So whether you want to think about conspiracy theories or not, what we need to do to fix this shit is go back into our communities. We need to go back and actually try. Don't listen to these narratives of you go back to your hood, you get killed, or whatever the case may be, because at the end of the day, people do die where they're from. But I don't think that'll ever stop me from helping where I came from. Because if I can't start there, I can't start nowhere. And you got a whole bunch of people outsourcing their care and having people feed off of their energy that is so superficial that it's snapped within you actually questioning whatever they're saying. I want to understand why we are infighting and dividing within ourselves. These conservatives are right. We're no longer oppressed. There's no white privilege. There's just privilege. Privilege that the capitalism system provided. Whether you were strong, determined, and you did it by yourself, or you got it on your own, or whatever the case may be, that does not mean the system helped you do it. So stop rooting for that system that you were able to overcome, because some people aren't blessed with the circumstances that you are. So yeah, you could criticize the looters, the rioters, the whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, unless you're actually willing to help those people direct that energy somewhere better, or actually in a positive way. Shit did it again, bro.
Yeah.
He said, yeah. Hate this nigga, son. Alright, so I'm gonna wrap it up like this. We're having some technical difficulties, but I'm gonna push through because this message has to come out. I urge you to fight in a different way. We know we physical. We know we could do that. That's why they locking us up. But at the end of the day, the psychological warfare is something that we have to have the right mentals for. We can't keep cutting them down. And by them, I mean our communities. We have to pick us up. We have to teach one. And if we can't teach, don't just look down. Actually do your job. Make sure you own your job. Because realistically, if we all focusing and moving towards the right thing, there's no way we can't move forward. We gotta wake up, people. We gotta work together, because realistically, that's what's been going on. They've been working together to keep us down. So until we work together to progress, we just gonna keep falling on deaf ears, and the same things is gonna keep going on for generations and generations. I'll be damned if my child or grandchild goes through this shit. That's for damn sure. I don't know. Instead of being convinced by the vanity of our government officials, hold them accountable. We gotta do this work. And until we do this work within our communities to actually affect that change and have people stand by us for these changes, demanding these changes, we ain't gonna have no real progress. And that's what I'm in for. Real progress. Till next time, I'm out.